Hello there. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining again, the third session for today. Trust you've had a great day so far and you've had a wonderful learning experience um, over the last two sessions. I must say I know some of us are still yet to recover from that session, but we have to go again. The third session for today. Let us know where you're joining from, and let us know some of the things you learned in the previous sessions. Thanks for joining, Anthony, Eziamaka, Grace, Janet, Juliet, Omotola. um, I think by now Grace and Omotola are always at all the sessions. So thank you for that consistency. We appreciate it. Must be that you've been getting a lot of you've been learning a lot and getting value for your time that you're investing in this. So we really appreciate that. Thank you for joining. Thank you. It's been a wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Amotola. Okay, just waiting for a few more seconds for more people to join. Thank you, Juliet. We appreciate your time here. We've been getting some feedback on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram. It would be nice to read from you guys. HR department, yes. We don't know your real name, but I think I see that name too in the previous session. So thank you for joining. It would be nice to get some feedback from you too on social media, so you can share something that you learned this today or the last weekend, and tag us Adulam Consulting, our company page on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, whichever social media you use frequently. You can also use the hashtag #Thrive for us to easily see it, or you tag us our company page so that we can easily see it. Would appreciate your feedback. Let us know how well we're doing. It should let us know if we are actually giving out, if we are making sense, to speak plainly. Thank you, Ashetu, for joining. Thank you, Chinedu. Thank you, Ebere, Elizabeth, another usual suspect. Thank you for joining again. We do not take your time lightly. Thank you for um, joining each and every one of the sessions. Ashetu to usual suspect. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for those joining on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in live. Chinedu, thank you for joining. Really interesting and mind-blowing from Chinedu. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. Henry, thanks for the insightful sessions. Thank you very much. And like I said on the last session, yes, it's good to have all this, what's it called, reactive feedback. But what will give us more joy is you actually applying these things that you are going to learn over the weekends in August, and then practically applying it on the job. I tell you, if you are able to apply even 10% of what you learn here, it's going to totally transform the outlook of your career and also the business outcomes in the organizations that you serve. And that's our real goal in all of this. And that's why this conference is open to all. It's free to attend so that as many people as possible can get this knowledge, because we really need it in these times that we're in. Nobody really knows what to do. We're all just trying to figure it out. But we trust that from the experiences that these speakers will share, from their wealth of experience, we'll get some answers, we'll get some insights into what we should do and how we should go. And hopefully this will yield great results. We look forward to hearing good news from you, from what you learned, from the results you get when you apply this at your workplace. That's our greatest joy, really. So thank you again. Okay, quickly, let's meet our speaker for today. We are looking at managing employee performance in the new normal. Okay, Elizabeth says the sessions have been answering real-time issues in HR. It's been insightful. Thank you for that feedback. Thank you. I think we are meeting our goal, and that's really pleasing to know. I think a lot of the previous speakers have mentioned that performance management has changed now in this time. So it's only fit that we are dedicating a whole session to seeing how performance management is done in this new normal, because I think it's something that a whole lot of us are grappling with at the moment. So we are going to be looking at managing employee performance in the new normal. Our speaker for today is Olado Kunshulanke. Let's quickly meet him. Olamide is a pure mathematics graduate of the University of Ado-Ekiti and also a certified senior professional in human resources and human capital manager. He was head HR at Swifter Systems and Services Limited, a leading IT fintech in West Africa, up until recently when he joined a leading bank in Nigeria as a human resource business partner, where he applies his acquired skills in human capital management and stakeholder management. He holds the SPHR certification from HRCI and also an advanced diploma in human capital management from the prestigious University of Lagos. Okay, this is a side note. You know, when I read people's, it's just a joke, so don't take me seriously. When I'm reading the bio of a lot of the speakers, everyone went to a prestigious university. So you see prestigious University of OAU, what's that? Obafemi Awolowo University, University of Ibadan, which other one? ABU, Ahmadu Bello University. So everyone tries to rep their university. So that's just a side note anyways. Moving on. In early 2020, he was nominated for the most inclusive HR influencers list and was amongst the 100 ambassadors for HR global influencers. He's also a pioneer member of MAD by Pass. That means making a difference by putting a smile, an HRLC initiative. With a warm welcome, with a loud applause, with the clapping emoji in the comment section, let's give a thrive welcome to Olado Kunshulanke. Olado, welcome.
Good afternoon, DJ.
Good afternoon.
I mean, no. So let me quickly say that that's well, what's it called? Introduction is just telling people that I'm a learner. So
Yeah,
I'm a learner. So this session we are just going to take it like we are conversing. I mean, this is what I feel about it, and this is what has been. This is what is obtainable in the new normal. So don't see me as a thought leader. I'm not a thought leader. But thank you for the privilege, Jide. I am not taking this for granted. And of course, I welcome everyone to this session. I believe that it's going to be worth our time. And of course, we are going to take in one or two things away with us. So let me just, let me share my slide. Okay. Jide, can you see my slide?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, great. So, yeah. Okay. Welcome once again. Thank you for the privilege. Now, the topic that's been given to me to speak on is managing employee performance in the new normal. Of course, we know the process of performance management, the old way of doing it. You set a target from the organization objective, you cascade it down to the employees set their target, you fix a period whereby you're going to assess or appraise the employee, you give feedback. This is the old way of doing it. But there have been some twists to it since the crisis erupted. So we'll be going into the session of the day. Now, the learning objective for this session are these: the challenges of the new normal, how line managers can support employees during the new normal, improving team engagement during the new normal, and of course, how team members can improve on their deliverables. But before we delve into that, I would like us to quickly look at what new normal is. New normal is what a state of an economy or a society following a crisis or a pandemic. What I'm trying to say is that just like COVID, we never expected that. We weren't planning for it. It just came all of a sudden. And of course, the next thing, the next life that happened after that is what we regard to as new normal. And relating new normal into our workplace or into the workplace, you agree with me that so many things have changed. Like we now practice flexi work system, we now practice telecommuting, remote working system. These are the things that were not totally embraced before the crisis. But now it is important we carry on with that because organizations have now seen that, I mean, you can sit down in the comfort of your home and still deliver results. And for employees working from home, these are posed a great deal. I mean, when you work from home, you have so many activities you are doing part-time, right? So as an organization and line managers, you must ensure that employee productivity is not reduced at any time. And so what that says is that performance management must be measured effectively at this time. So at this time, if performance management had been subjective, at this new normal, you must ensure that performance management is effective and of course is objective because you are not seeing the employee you are appraising. And that takes us to the session in detail. So we said challenges of the new normal. You know, and you agree with me that when crisis erupted like that and we find ourselves in new normal, then there will be so many challenges. You are used to a particular lifestyle and all of a sudden they ask you to stop doing it, to stop doing what you love doing. Definitely you will experience some hiccups before you adjust your system, your body into the new normal. And so that is we regard to as the challenges. And the first one we talk about is the workforce capacity. So you know that after the crisis and when the COVID started, so many organizations were laying off staff. So many organizations believe that, oh, this role is not necessary or needed again in our organization. So we are making it redundant. So many organizations believe that they can merge two roles together to form one because of the new normal. It is a challenge because all these things were not planned for before. And another challenge we experience in the new normal is communication. Communication cannot be overemphasized. In fact, all the challenges you may want to list, communication has taken up to 40% of the likely challenges you experience in the new normal. So it's an integral part of people process. There's no way you want to make sure your employee are delivering on their assigned task that you will not communicate. So effectively communicate. So communication is very important, and it has become a challenge in this new normal. It's related and cut across every aspect of the business. Before the new normal or in the old life, so to speak, there is physical interactions. You see your team members, you see your line managers, you interact, you see them one-on-one. But now we are now embracing, or we've embraced virtual involvement, which means I'm on this webinar talking to the attendees in their respective spaces or homes. And it tells us that communication must be effective. But before now, we aren't seeing it as a challenge because we see ourselves. So if I'm giving you, if I'm passing a message across to you, you can as well read my body language. But now this time around, you are not seeing me. I mean, if I should short the video, you don't know what I'm doing. You don't know if I'm talking and I'm smiling or doing what not, right? So it is already a challenge that must be looked into. And the next, looking at these images, I mean, this alone will tell us what we currently experience in the new normal. Look at the man with the child, and obviously the man is on a work call, and the child needs an attention. So at that point, whatever the man is doing, it must be on hold. Look at the woman that is already thinking of so many things she wants to attend to. And there's this image showing communication process. These are challenges, and these are likely challenges we experience in the new normal. Risk of distractions. You are working in your home office or on your couch at home, and your child needs attention, or there is the background noise and all these distractions are coming in. It is a challenge for you because it's going to deter the set timeline you have assigned to yourself. Time-consuming communication process. What this simply means is that before now, when you work in the workplace, you see your line manager is passing a message across to you. You could read the importance of that message and you could quickly address the message. However, at this time, you are talking to someone and you are saying, "Can you see my screen?" You are saying, "Can you hear me?" You are saying, "Oh, Ola, please unmute. Ola, you are on mute." You know all this slang that are trending in this new normal. So it's a challenge because it's going to drag the time that will ordinarily take you to communicate a message to your staff. It's going to drag the time. So it's a challenge. Another challenge is lack of supervision. Your line manager is not seeing you. You are not even under any, you are not working in an open office whereby you see your line manager, he has assigned a task to you and you quickly want to do it, or you soak your head into the system to ensure that you are performing on the assigned task. You are not seeing that. So it is lack of supervision. It's a challenge because nobody sees you. You can get distracted and leave that job and go to your living room and start watching movie or listening to music, So it's a challenge on its own. And lack of access to information. You work in the office, you quickly want to ask someone in probably business development to say, oh, I need this document. I mean, and the person give it to you without much ado. But this time around, you don't have that information. You need to connect with that person. The person is telling you, I'm on a call, I'm on a work call, I'm in a meeting. I mean, that alone is a challenge on its own, which is affecting us in the new normal. And most importantly, this last point, which I so much fall in love with, is social isolation. When the COVID erupted, the crisis erupted, rather, the extroverts were severely dealt with, meaning you were restricted to sit down in your home, not to go anywhere. And you agree with me, the extroverts, they are just life of the party. They just want to get out, just want to see people, right? I mean, taking myself as an example, where during the crisis, at a point, it was already getting on me that I had to, there was a day I had to go to my window. I was just looking around. I needed to go out, but I could not. So this is a big challenge for extroverts, for people that like to socialize. I mean, it's going to transform from being an extrovert to an introvert. So they need to be adjusting gradually into being an extrovert that ordinarily they aren't. So it's a challenge. Now, having said all these things, and we mentioned earlier that communication takes a bulk of a percentage of likely challenges we may experience in the new normal. Then this brings us to how we can improve on our communication. The first one, which is very key, is to show empathy. I mean, the employer, the business leaders must be empathetic and understanding at this point, because this is not, like Jide mentioned some minutes ago, we were not privy to, I mean, nobody mentioned to us to say that, oh, this thing is going to happen tomorrow, so get prepared. You know, it just came like a bombshell, and everybody were trying to gather ourselves, trying to do 1 + 1, let's say it will equal to 2, or it will give us 22, you know. So knowing all these things, the line managers, the business owners, the management must show empathy to their staff. And when you show empathy, you show understanding, the staff can easily relate to it that, oh, I mean, this leadership have us at heart. The next point, next way of improving communication is to be proactive in communicating with your team. And what this is saying is that if you, okay, so I'll share a scenario with you. This happened when the COVID-19 erupted. I mean, when it was still fresh, sometimes in March, early March and April. And I spoke with my managing director to say, sir, you know what? We know that every unit have their, what's it called? Departmental meeting, right? But I want us to do something. Let us go into that meeting. I want you to speak to them. I want you to address them, you know, and we add that. So imagine a business development meeting whereby the people you see on the call are your supervisor and of course your team members. And you wake up the next morning and you are seeing the MD and probably the HR joining you on the call, and the MD is addressing you. That alone shows that you have a listening leadership in that organization, and it's going to help the performance of that staff. And so after that session, the meeting, I did a survey to get feedback of what people feel about the MD coming into the meeting. And the feedback was extremely positive. The feedback showed that the employee would continue to give their best in to the assigned task or deliverables they have. The next point is to set expectation from the start, from the get-go. What that speaks to is that, I mean, before we start anything, let us know that this is what we want to do. Means of communicating. How do we want to communicate? How do we want to hold our meeting? In what platform do we want to use? Is it MS Teams? Is it Google Meet? Is it WhatsApp call? Let us know so that Ola will not join you on Google Meet and another person is joining on Zoom to say, oh, I thought we were going to have this meeting on Zoom. Then another thing is we must set our deliverables. We must know that, okay, Ola, this is what you are going to do per time. We should have that conversation from the get-go. When you have that conversation, it won't be your words against theirs or against your team members in future to say, oh, I didn't know this is what you mean. I didn't know I didn't know you said this, sir, or ma, or Ola, as the case may be. And the next point is to adopt new communication tools. We don't, before now, except for the forward-thinking organizations that believe that, I mean, Vision 2020, future of work that we've been singing for years before now will come, and they've started preparing themselves to not to be where this 2020 this future of work come into play, except for those organizations. But for other organizations that this came as a shock, as a real shock too, they need to ensure they communicate the new tools, how the tools work to their staff. So a way of doing this is to say that you are onboarding your new staff and you are saying part of your onboarding activities, you are telling your staff, running your new staff through your MS Teams, how it works, or through your Google Meets, Google collaboration tools, how it works. That staff, what you have done for that staff is that once the staff gets on the job, there won't be any hiccup. If there will be any hiccup at all, the staff will be able to manage it effectively. So you need to adopt new communication tools and communicate such tools to your staff. Another point on improving communication is give more lead time. You know you are working remotely. You are not seeing your staff. You know there will be several external distractions. Then when you are giving deadline or giving timeline to assign tasks, you must put in some factors to say, okay, I want it like right away. The staff is not seated in the office, so there may be some other hiccups that we call it unforeseen contingencies. So you need to give lead time on. These two other points are very important when in the new normal, which is keep the office culture. Now, I have seen that some organizations have started imbibing that virtual team building activities. It is very key. It is very important. Now, what you do in the office, in your workplace, saying this is how we do it, this is our way of doing things in this organization, you must ensure you translate that to your virtual office, to the new normal, saying we do team bonding activities, we are going to do it virtually. The way we communicate to ourselves, one of our watchwords is respect, is being responsible. You must be able to practice that also in this new normal. Then lastly, ensure to always provide the big picture. And this speaks to the leadership of the organization, saying, we hold, what's it called, town hall meeting, maybe every quarter, maybe every month. This time around, it is virtual. At every point in time that you are talking to your staff, ensure you show them the big picture because they are not seeing you. They cannot see you when you gesticulate. They cannot see your facial expression to say, oh, the MD truly wants us to achieve this. Oh, the line manager truly wants us to get this thing done. They are not seeing that. right? So you must paint the picture, provide the picture at every given time, every opportunity you have to address your staff. You must do that. And that's the way of improving communication amongst your employee or your team members. Now, having done this, then it takes us to how the line manager can support the employee during this new normal. So there are so many distractions. There is social isolation for your extrovert employees. There is lack of supervision, but then you still want to give support so that that employee will continue to give in his or her best, right? So this brings me to this point. Routine checking. There must be regular, frequent, consistent checking between your unit and your team members. So you must not leave them with, oh, just go and get the job done, and that's all. So the next time you get to hear from that staff is when the staff is saying, oh, yeah, Ola, please find attached what not. No, it must be consistent. It must be regular, right? So what we practice sometimes in March was to say, okay, every unit head, let's give this, we call show your logo in quotes. So every unit head go into the meeting, the departmental meeting, and tell their staff, we'll be doing this every morning. Show your logo, right? Flaunt your muzzle. So what we are saying is that you come in the morning, especially for the developers, you come in the morning during the meeting, and you are telling us what you have done, exceptional things you have done in the previous day. That helps encourage the employee to continue to give in their best. So if you do that regularly, you'll see that you are giving the adequate support to that staff. Another one is tools. This is very important in the new normal. So you don't want your staff to, it's obvious in the new normal, your staff that are working remotely or telecommuting or running a shift pattern will need to, which means they won't be working with a desktop computer. They will have a personal system. And so what that speaks to is that you can't give a personal laptop, a personal computer, a laptop to a staff, and this laptop has 0 battery life, which means the laptop is more or less a desktop. You are not giving the adequate support to that staff, which means the staff will continue to complain. And when the staff keeps complaining, then the next thing is the staff will start looking out. And it's going to affect your bottom line. It's going to affect your retention rate and the likes. So tool is very important. The next one is evaluating quality over time worked. This, before now, you sit on on your desk, and you soak your head into the system, and your boss is looking at you from afar saying, oh, Ola is working, Ola is working. Even though if you are checking social media site or any other site, right? And the line manager has assumed that you're working. But this time around, the line manager is not seeing you. All we want to see is the output. So I'm not evaluating you on your quality, or I'm not evaluating you on how the job is being done. I'm evaluating your output, the work that is being done, right? Which is the output. And it's very important. So I'm saying, sometimes in 2018, early 2019, thereabout, I engaged one of my former colleagues, and he said, Ola, you know what? I love to work. I realized that I give him my best at night. And that's when I'm agile, I'm able to give him my best. I said, oh, really? And, the guy will come in the morning, and before I proceed, you will agree with me that we have different type of employees in workplace. We have the early starters, we have the late starters, right? So some people will come into workplace by 5 a.m. and they soak in their stuff in the system and continue working, right? That's is the time they are agile. That is the time they feel they can be productive. Why some people will not start being productive until maybe 3 p.m. and they work down to maybe 7, 8, 9, as long as they have achieved their assigned task. We have senior leaders like that. We have business owners that will not leave the office until 10 p.m. That is the time they feel they can give in their best. So in this new normal, we are saying that I don't see you sitting on the, showing me that you're working. All I want to see is, have you done the task assigned? So it is the output that is important, and you must give in that support. So if your staff is saying, hey, okay, can I get back to, if you give in a task to a staff and you say, I need this to be done on or before 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, and the staff choose to do it by 10 p.m. All that is important is to see the task being done and see the task in your mailbox by 10 a.m. on or before 10 a.m. Right? So you don't need to start looking at your own WhatsApp and you say, this guy is online. Or you are saying the staff is posting something and say, you are not even working. But you have already given a timeline to the task assigned. So that is important also, a way to support the employee. Another way is goal setting. This one is moving from the old normal to the new normal. You can't neglect this. Goal setting must be smart. So the same way we do our performance management in the old normal, it's the same way we consider smart way of setting goals. It's the same way we are going to consider it in this new normal, which means it must be specific, it must be measurable, actionable, relevant, and time bound. So if you are assigning a task to your staff, make sure it's specific. Don't give your staff an overload task that the employee will now be finding difficult to attempt. Make sure it is smart. Then the last one is feedback. It is very important to give feedback. So before now, like I mentioned, the way we run performance management system, you set your target, you say, okay, at the end of this period, we are going to appraise the staff. Then after the appraiser committee seats, then you give feedback to your staff. Then you set another target. Then the period go on and on. But this time around, you are not waiting till the end of the period before you give feedback. Feedback should be continuous. Feedback should be regular. So you have assigned a task to your staff to deliver by close of business today. And the staff is sending in the task by 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. the next morning. Don't jot it down to say, okay, I'm waiting for you. During appraiser, you hear it. No, don't do that. Just give the feedback. Ola, you have exceeded deadline or timeline for this task. So it's a feedback for Ola to say that, okay, then I need to do better next time. Feedback is very important. And when you have done this as a line manager, try to ensure you are doing the necessary things to support your employee in this new normal. Then it takes us to how you need to keep the team engaged. You need to keep the team engaged, which is improving team engagement during the new normal. And so the first thing, and like we mentioned earlier, communication. So communication will continue to come into conversation in the new normal. If you are not doing it well during the old life, in this new life, communication there must not be any echo. So you must ensure that what you are saying, the other recipient is catching it, is giving you the appropriate feedback you need. So a way to improve engagement, team engagement, is to give clear and frequent communication. It must be frequent. And like I said earlier, make sure that there is always routine checking. You communicate per time. Don't just assume. This is not the time for us to assume. And when you are using sometimes in May, I was to join a call, and the invite I got stated, join this meeting on Google Meet, right? And I'd already joined in before the meeting started, and the a colleague just came to me at the back end to say, "Ola, you're not coming to the meeting." I said, I'm waiting. Oh, I'm waiting for you guys, right?" And the guy said, "Oh no, where are you?" I said, "I'm on Google Meet now." He said, "No, it's on Zoom," right? So there was a bridge in communication. This time around, WhatsApp, it's a WhatsApp application. It's trending. I mean, if it is important, or it's needed for you to create a WhatsApp group for your so so it could be a way for your staff.
Hello,
Yeah. Hello.
Olado, sorry to cut you. I think we're having some challenges with your network at the end.
What's the issue? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we couldn't hear you for a while. There were some glitches.
Oh, really?
If it's
Well,
off the video. Oh, okay. I think it lost connection. Hold on, guys. Don't panic. It will be joining us again shortly. Just give us. Okay, I think he's back.
did they have it now?
Yeah, it's fine. So I think you can do without the video. Yes, it's fine now. So just share your screen and go ahead.
Okay, can do without the video to help the network. Okay.
Sorry for the interruption. Someone said we are coming down. Okay, guys. Go ahead.
Okay, so Jide, hello Jide.
I'm here.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So I'm going to take this again, talking about improving team management. I'm talking about communication, and the next one is support. You need to give support to so I did something sometimes in April, I was saying my staff.
I don't see your screen yet. Please share your screen so we can see your slides. Thank you.
Hello, Jide.
Yes, I can hear you. I said you should please share your screen. We can't see your screen.
Okay, I'm trying to do that. Can you now? Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Okay. Please let me know if you have seen the screen.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
No.
You can see. Okay. I think I need to. How about now?
Do you want to log off then come back in? We can't see your screen.
Okay, maybe I should do that. Apologies for this glitch.
Again, sorry for the interruption. We're going to sort it out in a minute. and he'll be back shortly. Just hold on for a minute. Okay, are you back? Elizabeth says this topic is very dear to me. Don't worry, you'll get answers to all your questions. Don't worry. We'll share a screen soon, and then we can fire on. For those wondering, we are experiencing a little connectivity issue from the speaker's end. He's trying to sort that out and rejoin us to continue this session. As soon as we have him back, and yes, we'll make up for the lost time. So no fear about that. You get all that was planned for this session. So please just bear with us. On YouTube, please bear with us. We are experiencing some challenges here that we're trying to sort out.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, you're back. Okay, can you try and share your screen again?
I want to be sure. Can you hear me? I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Your audio is not so good, literally, but we can hear you. So just let us know. Can you share your screen now so we can follow you? So this is part of the challenges of the new normal. I'm sure we are used to it. So let's a bit more patient and then. Okay, so yeah.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, you can. Great.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jide. Apologies for the glitch. I mean, it's still one of the things we're talking about, the new normal challenges. Okay, so yes, I've touched on support. Okay, and I was trying to share a story with you. You know, sometimes in April, because I know that I've not been able to, I mean, we've not been interacting in the office, no physical interaction. So I said, okay, let me put it upon myself. I'll call staff randomly. And I called this staff, and you know, she was expecting that I'll be talking about, oh, how is the work and all anything that relates to the work. And I said, no, that's not the reason why I'm calling. I just want to know how you are faring, how is the family, how are people coping. She was completely amazed, you know, and you know, she mentioned to all other staff to say, oh, HR called, and other staff were saying, HR called me too. You know, this is a way to give support. And by doing that, you are keeping them engaged. They know that the organization or the line manager is not only after what they need to deliver, the assigned task, but is also after their well-being, their welfare, their health, right? It is very important to give support at this time. And most importantly, again, before now we talk about work-life balance, but you know, over time is transcending from work-life balance to work-life integration. So work-life balance is you are not the type that creates time for your family, your friends and family. Everything you know is work, work, work. You are termed to be a workaholic. Work-life balance. So they will tell you, create the balance now, relate with your family and all those charges. But this time around, it is work-life integration. What that means is that that office that you go to, you're not going there again. You work in your home, in your own your space, which means you are in between your work, your life, your family, your friend. So you need to synergize. And if you have this understanding, if the leadership, the management, the line manager have this understanding, then you can relate it. Communicate that to your staff. Show that by practicing it and ensuring that they too follow suit. So you must do that. And when you do that, you are definitely keeping your staff engaged. And after that, after you have ensured that you are trying to keep them engaged, you are showing support, then and the team members now also need ensure they improve on their deliverables. So we've been talking about the organization, the business leaders, the line managers. This time around, the conversation now is centered on the team members. So how can team members improve on their deliverables? First is to prioritize tasks. Before now, if you're not the type that if you are the type that believe, oh, I am computer, still are we still in sync? Hello, Jide.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. So I want to be sure I'm not just talking into the air. Now, you have to prioritize tasks. If you are the type that believe, oh, I am computer, I can take everything in my head. This time around, you should not even try it, because the organization, the leadership, they are trying to ensure that the business still afloat. And so by doing that, there are several deliverables to be met. So for you as an employee or a team member, you must ensure you prioritize your task. First thing is to make sure you have a notepad. It is very important at this time. So don't just put it in your head. Scribble it down in your notepad. And now look at it to say, okay, which one comes first? Which one should I quickly attempt first? Then once you do that, tick the box and move to the next one. Don't just capture it in your head alone. So you must prioritize tasks. Next one is to take responsibility. Take ownership. What that speaks to is that your office, your home is your office. Meaning you are your line manager. You are still the team member. And of course, you are still the business leader. So because you are working in your home office, so you must take ownership. You must make sure, don't pass the ball. Take it as this is my business and I have to handle it as such. The next one is do not work in isolation. If you have been doing that before, this is not the time to practice such, because you don't have that luxury to meet with your people. You are not seeing them. So the best thing to do is, if you have a WhatsApp group, have your conversation on that WhatsApp group. Ensure that someone is checking your back, same way you are checking someone's back. Don't do it don't take it upon yourself to say, I'm going to do it all alone. You must not work in isolation, because and it's very easier for you to do that because you're not seeing anybody to charge you or to say, Ola, have you done this? For instance, you are in the office and and you work in an open office and your line manager just send you a task. Ola, I want you to do this right away. Your team member overheard that conversation, and line manager is saying, before close of business, you must submit this task. I mean, by 4 p.m., that team member is asking you, Ola, have you attempted that task, or have you reverted to your boss? You know, you can quickly say, oh, let me quickly get it done. Oh, I'm on it. Oh, thank you, buddy. I'll do it. You know, you are enjoying that privilege because you work in an office environment. But this time around, you are just seeing the four walls of your room or your home office. So you must not work in isolation. The next point is to compartmentalize the office and the living space. I mean, so many of us that this new normal caught up with were severely dealt with as it relates to our ergonomics. So sometimes in March, throughout the pandemic, the lockdown, you see people walking on the couch, walking on their dining, walking on their bed. I mean, we don't have a suitable workplace to perform our task. And so when you're doing that, you already, you start having back pain, you have muscle pain, and you start disconnecting from the work. And if care is not taken, depression will set in. Then you start thinking, oh, I think I'm not even needed in this organization. Maybe I should start looking out. So in the new normal, you need to create as little as you can a small workspace for yourself, and probably get the basic tools so that your deliverable, there won't be any hitch in attending to your assigned deliverables. Then the last one is practice breakout sessions. Now, what this means is that you see, for some of us that we just want to sit down on our system and get the work done, you should practice the same lunch time that you go for lunch. If you are to be in the office, practice it at home where you are working remotely. Stand up, practice the ergonomic, walk around, practice the required number of steps you need to take in a day. Just that 1 hour, just leave the work and go on. So that the reason for doing this is that, one, if you practice it, the time you are coming back to work, you are coming refreshed. And so the task you have at hand, you can quickly get at it and get it done, right? If you are not doing that, then depression may likely set in. Then you start visiting the clinic or the hospital repeatedly to say, I need to check my health. So it is important we practice a breakout session to avoid burning out. And having said all this, and before I go to my conclusion, I would like to, bring up a trivia and to also see if we are following in this session. So the trivia is this: as employee, and I want you to please drop it in the comment section or in the chat box. As an employee, what will you do differently in the new normal? And you, the line managers or the employer, if you're on this call, what new measures will you adopt? So let me also pick your brain. Let me see what you guys will do. What you have been able to gather since we've started this session. So I'll be looking at the chat box to see how people are responding to it. Yes, show more empathy as an employer. Fantastic. And however, let me speak to that. When you show, so there's this, there's this overemphasizing on empathy since the new normal erupted. Empathy, employer show empathy, employer show empathy. Yes, it is not only employer. Employee also must be considerate. Employee must be considerate to the business. Meaning, this is not the time to start asking for, oh, I want my employer to cut off our head. I want this, I want that. Because employer is trying to stay afloat to ensure that the business continue to exist. Employee must also ensure that they are considerate. So it's not just one-way traffic. You must show empathy as an employer. As an employee, you must also be considerate to the business. Okay, as line manager, improve communication. Absolutely. Yes, keep all channel communication. Fantastic. WhatsApp channel. If you require creating an application for your organization whereby you guys can have a tete-a-tete, it's important. Go beyond the call of duty. Fantastic. And that's why I spoke about what I mentioned some minutes ago, saying, show support. Don't micromanage. This cannot be overemphasized. And even at this time, you cannot even micromanage because you are not seeing that stuff. We said to our line managers that they should give lead time to any assigned task. So this is not the time to start micromanaging. Thank you guys for your comment. I appreciate. It truly shows that you guys are. It's not my call alone. Yes, improve communication. Fantastic. So okay, so going to the concluding part. So the conclusion, this conclusion speaks to why it is important we ensure that our employees are engaged at this time. Jide, can you see my screen? Hello, Jide. Oops.
I'm here.
Okay, I'm trying to. Well, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it, but it's a blank slide.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Thank you. Yes, so we've spoken about the trivia. So the conclusion now is this. So I'm just going to tell you why it is important to continue to measure employee performance in this remote working system. The one we call the new normal. So, and this is a research report from Global Workplace Analytics saying with 50% of the workforce working in some sort of telecommuting role, 80 to 90% of all employees are saying they would like to work remotely at least part of the time. So it's telling us, it's another way of confirming to us that this new normal is here to stay. Meaning an employee will prefer to, I don't want to do Terminal Bridge traffic. I don't want to travel from Songwater to Victoria Island or to Lekki or to Chevron Drive. I want to work at home. So you should be able to give that flexibility. All you want to see is the output. Don't forget we mentioned that it's the output and not the how the work is being done. It's the output that is most important to you. So the research believes that offering good remote opportunities is an attractive way to gain productive employees. Fantastic. And it's very true. So you see employees choosing, oh, I want a shift pattern. Let me do 3 days working from home, 2 days working in the office. Or if the role can be 100% in remote can go on a remote working system, please kindly do so. It will boost the morale of your employee. I mean, it will even increase the retention rate in your workforce. And so that is the end of this session. Thank you very much. I'll wait your questions. Thank you. Jide,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much for that session. I'm sure despite the little glitch, we all got so much value. So please let's appreciate the speaker for this session, Oladoko, in the comment section. Thank you for sharing from your wealth of experience, some practical tips that we can apply to manage the employee of our organizations. We gained a lot from that. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you,
Okay,
Jide, for the privilege.
Someone is asking for you to flash slide 9. I don't know if you can quickly do that.
Okay. Slide.
I think okay. It should be you'll be sharing the slides with the attendees, right?
Yes, I will.
So I think you will get the slides, so that will sort that. Let's quickly take the question and answers. Please use the Q&A feature to drop your questions, and so we can take it. If you're watching via YouTube, please drop your questions in the comment section, and we'll be able to take it from here. Again, I would even advise, as I can see someone dropping their email address. I see it's a practice that is a common around here. But from a security point of view, I don't even think you should be dropping your email in a public space. I think that is not good practice. I reiterated this in the last session. If you want to get the slides, the best way is for you to register. I'll put the link in the chat session. We would have your details and we'll share with you. I know it's a common practice, but I'm not sure it's a good practice to share your email address in public space, especially with the cyber security challenges and all that. Okay, so questions. Okay, we have 3 questions here already. Let me quickly take them. Tonali Enyona is asking, what is the best approach to manage poor performance during this time? Best approach to manage poor performance.
Yeah, Tolani, Jide, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So Tolani, first thing to note again is that do not forget that performance management is not living at all. We are just saying what are the twists to it, right? So we still have our performance management system, right? Whereby you set your target. Do not forget again that it depends on organizations anyway, that if an employee is not performing for maybe 2 consecutive performance appraisal year or something, there is a sanction, or we advise the employee to leave the organization, right? That conversation is still there. We're just trying to add to it. But then, best approach to manage the poor performance again is, so I'll paint a scenario to you. I used to have a staff that every now and then he complains of bad network. My network is bad. And this guy is managing clients in Uganda, Angola, and South Africa. And there's need for you to always give report every day to all these clients, right? And this is the client telling us that this is the staff saying that his network is bad. So first thing for me is to look at the attitude. And look, in performance management, you have 2 perspectives you are measuring. You are measuring the results and you are measuring the behavior. So if it is a results-oriented thing that is causing poor performance, then it means I can work on that to say, what is your challenge? What are the challenges? How do you want me as HR, or you want your line manager to come in to support you, right? If it is on results, then that is achievable. If it is on attitude, then that is it's another big deal for us. So a poor performer is for me to have a conversation with that person to say, why are you not delivering on your set target or deliverables? If I have this conversation with that person, so this staff I mentioned, I called him to say, what is your problem? What is it? You said you are using MTN line and it's bad in your area. So why don't you switch to Globe? So why don't you switch to any other network? Why you stick to MTN? And for all you care, this line is just 100 naira or how much that you can afford. Apparently, the staff was not thinking in that direction. So it was just straight focused to say, if MTN is not working, then I can't perform. So it was when I proposed that, and the line manager is already getting tired, complaining every now and then. I proposed that, and the guy was able to come back to come and give us his best. So you need to engage that staff to know where the problem is. If it is results or on behavior, I mean, once you have that conversation, then you can know if this thing is correctional or you may need to probably advise the staff. But then don't forget that we said that it depends on organization. So we are saying if the organization is saying, and then there's what we call reskilling and retooling. If you know that this staff is lacking in a particular aspect of his function, you can send the staff on reskilling and retooling program. That person go, just make sure you have done your part. Then at the point that you have achieved that and there's no results, then you can then follow what the policy says by saying after a period of time, you can advise the staff. Yep. Thank you, Tolani. I don't know if I've been able to give an answer to it.
We have another question here from, just a moment. Okay, from Chinedu, says, "Hi, Oladokun. Thank you once again. How can you manage the performance of a sales team?"
So that is, in fact, sales team is not, in fact, that is even very easy. It's happened. What we want to see is the figure, right? Theirs are, they are quantitative. So the same way you are measuring their performance in the old life is the same way you want to measure their performance in the new life. However, you must ensure you put empathy to play. However, you must ensure you consider some external distractions or some external factors in setting their target or KPIs. For instance, I'll give you an instance. So I work in an environment whereby, an IT environment whereby we had to preach our products to clients, right? It is not, yes, the management wants the sales team to deliver. We want this, we want that, right? But if you are seeing the effort of that team or that salesperson, but you are not seeing the result yet, please don't castigate. You know why? Because that person or that organization that wants to buy that product is also partly with, let me just leave first before I start making money. I mean, I just want to leave at this time. So you must ensure that you put into consideration all external factors that may come up in the course of achieving that target for that salesperson. So I don't know. Let me look at that question again, if I didn't miss it. Jide, can you please let me recall that question?
Okay, I think you've answered it sufficiently.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so there's a question here from Omotola. For HR staff, for example, if we want to move to financial-based targets and KPIs, how do we set targets that are more strategic and impact the organization's bottom line for support functions like HR?
So financial base, do not forget, one of the financial base for, so the way the way performance management works is, and for organizations that practice BSc, balanced scorecard, you have 4 perspectives: financials, um, customers, internal processes, and what's it called? Learning and development. Now, all this perspective comes from the top. So the organization is saying, this is what we want to achieve at this period. This objective will be cascaded down to the unit. Now, for units like HR, that you can't really see what their financials are. What you term as financial for HR, one of it is cost saving. I mean, how you can minimize costs. So, you know, HR, how you can move from let me go and call, invite maybe a consultant to come and train me to let us set up e-learning platform. That is cost saving for HR, right? So you at this point in time, this is when you must ensure you practice that word. HR is what's it called? They say HR is a money spending unit. Ensure that you, I mean, do everything possible to mitigate that statement in coming to reality in HR unit. So cost saving is one of it. What else? Trying to reduce. Okay, I'll give you an instance again. If you want to, before now, you do team bonding exercise and you go to the beach, or you say, okay, let's go to maybe Olumo Rock and stuff like that. But this time around, you say, okay, we want to reduce costs. Let's do it virtually. Worst case scenario, you ask a DJ to come and play for you and probably get an MC. But then you still ask your staff to bring in their food. You have reduced costs. But if you had gone to Olumo Rock, you are going to definitely, so cost saving is very important for HR at this point. And that's a financial KPI.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Tolani again is asking, can you recommend employee wellness programs in the new normal?
Employee wellness program. So one of it is, I would advise before now, you ask your HMO to come to your office to come and probably check the vitals of your employee and of course give health talk. This time around, you can move it virtually. Have a virtual program talking about employee wellness, talking about depression in workplace. I mean, that's a program on its own. Another thing you can do is to say that, okay, how can you ensure that probably you have assigned a set time. For instance, you say that maybe you ask your developer or you ask a company to develop an application that will say that, okay, I want employee to log in at this time and ensure they close in at this time. What is important is that you must use the required hours for you that has been assigned for you in a day or weekly. Make sure you have achieved that hours. If you are doing that, then you are speaking to the wellness of that employee or your employee, saying, I don't just want you to be working. You know this normal slogan, the trending slogan saying work from home or remote working is scam. We are just trying to correct the narrative. So when you have all these programs in place, I mean, you are building the wellness of your employee.
Thank you very much. Work from home is scam. Because there's no working time, there's no personal time.
Exactly.
Next question here. What is your advice to employees who are not motivated to perform at their best as a result of layoff in the organization during this period?
So if I get that question correctly, what the person is saying is that some employees are being laid off and the person is already getting demotivated.
It's
is that what that
affecting
person is saying? Motivation because of the laying off. So this is what I will say. And I'll give you a scenario. So a professional colleague chatted me sometimes in May to say that Ola, my line manager just asked me now to send in what I do daily. I mean, everybody work remotely. What I do daily. And Ola, what will I say now? What am I going to write? I said, are you not working at home? Are you not working from home? I mean, that shouldn't be a problem. You just state what you do now. She said, no, Ola, my work is I work in the office. I go to work desk of my staff. I talk to them. I get them. She was just saying, and in my head, I was thinking, oh, really? So it means you have not been doing anything since we've started the lockdown. Now, that speaks to knowing that this period, employers just want to stay afloat. Let that one be in our subconscious mind, that the employer just want to stay afloat. Then, if you have that at your subconscious mind, you too, you will now need to give in your best, so that even if the employer want to take decision on people that will leave, I mean, your name will not even come on the list. Meaning, if you are doing this, I mean, go extra mile. When you do that, first off, your name will not be on the laying off list. That is number one. Number two is that to now keep you motivated, like we said during the course of the presentation, if you are a line manager, you should ensure that you communicate, you get to the heart of your staff every point in time. However, if you are an employee, you should ensure that you try not to get so worked up on the job. There's this common slogan that you hear around saying, I just want to live first. I just want to live first. If the organization is doing well, I will do well. If the organization is not doing well, it may affect me. If the organization is not doing well and I'm not giving you my best, it will definitely affect me. So if you have ticked all those boxes, then you don't have any problem.
Okay, thank you very much. If you have any more questions, please send it. I just have one question here. So if there's any more, please send it in now before we round up. This question is from Obaseki Samuel. What is the role of emotional intelligence in managing performance under this unique situation occasioned by COVID? I think you mentioned that at the start of your presentation. Hello, can you hear me?
I mean, Jide, Jide, hello,
Did you
Jide.
get that? Did you get the question?
I got that. Apparently, I muted my mic, so which is still one of the new normal, right? and I've been talking for some seconds. So, emotional intelligence. First thing to know about emotional intelligence is to be self-aware. So it is when you know yourself that you can now apply it to others. You have to be self-aware that, okay, this is what I stand for. This is me, right? Before you start trying to put yourself in other people's shoes. Emotional intelligence goes hand in hand with empathy, like we've mentioned. And before you can show empathy to your concerned staff or to your employees, you must be self-aware, which means you must have EQ or EI, as the case may be. So how can you now bring this to performance management? It's simple. Ensure you display empathy and understanding in workplace or amongst your team members. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And just to add to that, there'll be a session on emotional intelligence later in the conference. I think that session is scheduled for the last weekend. So to learn more about how to apply emotional intelligence in these interesting times for
That's fantastic.
employee engagements, employee wellness, performance, and all that. And there's a whole session dedicated for that, to be taken by Jumoke. Most people know us as Jam. So yes,
My
so
party.
I know. So she'll be taking that. So you can, I think it will be on the 30th. So please look out for that session for more information about emotional intelligence in these times. Okay, trying to check for more questions. Please take note of the attendance code for those who are looking for the recertification credits. This session is approved for 3 general HR credits. And for those who also want a certificate of completion at the end of this program, please take note of this attendance code. This is our last session for today. It's been a value-packed day. Thank you for this session, Oladokun. From the responses in the comments, it was practical, it was relatable, simple to understand. Thank you for sharing. Let me see, are there any other? Okay, I don't know this. You're trying to register. What that part is just saying is, if you have any HRCI certification, just put the certification. So that can be PHRI, SPHRI, APHRI, GPHR. If you have none, just type none and register. That's what that field is asking you for. Or PPCA is asking that. So just, if you don't have any HRCI certification, just type none. Any other question? Okay, someone asked here in the chat, Adedoyin Esther says, how can we avoid distractions in communication in the new normal? How can we avoid distractions in communication?
So, okay, so the way to avoid distraction will definitely come. And of course, it was mentioned during the one of the slides, right? Which is how to improve um, on your deliverables. So one of it is to ensure that you prioritize your task. So if you say your boss had communicated to you to do these things, right, and you have distraction in achieving that task, for instance, maybe you need to probably get food for yourself or for the home, attend to your child or children, as the case may be, you must ensure that you have script that task down, because if care is not taken, you might miss it out. Another thing I do is this, which I would like to share with you. So if my mailbox, my Outlook, I have it, every task or every mail that I have that I need to attend to, I will open it as a separate what's it called? Separate tab. Now, what I'm doing is I have all the tabs on my desktop. Then per time, I'm going to each tab to look at it to say, have I done this? I close it. Once I'm done with that task, I close that mail, go to another mail. By doing that, so I know that if I have not closed all the mail, it means I still have so many things to attend to, because I know distractions will definitely come. So it's just you now trying to say, how can I move myself away from it? One of them, prioritize your task. One of them, make sure that you script in every information you have or deliverables you have, so that you are not missing out on the assigned task. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's all the questions we have for this session. Thank you for everyone that joined. Again, we would love to have feedback. I'm sure Oladokuntu would love to have feedback. So whatever you learned on this session, you can share on LinkedIn or Instagram. You can connect with him as well. Oladokun Sholanke on LinkedIn, Olamidokun on Instagram. Share some of the things you learned here, and let's just know, have some feedback from this. So we'll be looking out for, you can also tag Adulam Consulting, the company page, and or use the hashtag #Thrive. We'll be looking out for your feedback. Thank you very much for joining. Do we have any other questions? Again, just to reiterate, if you want any of the additional benefits, like the replace to all the 30 sessions, a certificate for attending this program, 1 year subscription to the tHRive community, which is a community where we'll be sharing resources, articles, webinars for the continuous learning and professional development of HR professionals. All those benefits will come at a small fee. Please refer to your mail, and then if you would like to have any of those benefits. And for those who have the HRCI certifications too, for your recertification credits, it's at a fee, so you can take advantage of that. You get all the recertification credits you need at once for it to renew your certification. So you don't need to gather certification from here and there over 3 years. So if you want any of those benefits, please refer to the welcome mail. There's a link there to make payments. Thank you again for joining. Thank you, Oladokun Sholanke. This was a very good session. Thank you for sharing from your experience and giving us some of your time today. Look forward to the feedback that we'll get from this session.
I truly appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jide, for the privilege. Thank you, guys, for staying tuned. I appreciate it. I mean, we are just, we are learning, so it's not coming from a thought leader whatsoever. It's just what I know, and I think it will help us in the new normal. And of course, we can also replicate such in our various workplaces. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay, thank you. See you guys tomorrow, sharp and early by 9 a.m. West African time. We'll be having 3 sessions again tomorrow, 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m. We are going to be looking at topics such as the new norm in the spirit of the session, the new norm, 4th Industrial Revolution and HR. That will be taken by Olawale Odunami. Then we'll also be having the 12 noon session is retaining and developing top talent. That will be taken by Emmanuel Abegunde. And then the 3rd session for the day by 3 p.m. is change management and managing organizational change by Omobolande Adesanya. That is approved for 3 business credits. The first session I mentioned is approved for 3 global credits, while the second one is approved for 3 general HR credits. So looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thanks for joining. For those that joined all the 3 sessions, you are the real MVP. Thank you. See you again 9 a.m. tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.